Hi, this is Eric Martin with Board Game Geek. I'm here with Kevin Bresky from Ape Games, looking at Kill the Overlord, which has, I think I mentioned before, it's the gosh darn cutest executioner you'd ever want. You're like, oh, so adorable. That's good. So, in any case, maybe you can give us an overview of the game. It's by Brad Talton.
Yep.
Maybe you can tell us, what are we doing in the game? What's the goal?
It's a light party game for 4 to 8 players. Each player starts the game with a roll. There's 8 different rolls.
Hidden rolls or?
No, they're actually public rolls.
Okay.
And one of the rolls is the Overlord himself or herself. Actually, all of the roll cards are two-sided, so you can be whichever you'd like. If you prefer to be the male, you can be the male, or the female, whatever you're more comfortable with.
Okay.
Characters have a rank. The Overlord's the highest rank, and an income. That this is the money that they make every turn, plus a special ability. The lower the rank, the better the special ability, but also the lower the income.
All right.
So, these are dealt out randomly at the beginning of every turn, and don't get too attached to them because you're not going to be that rank for very long. So if we're playing a 5-player game, then we may do something like this, where you've got an advisor, peasant, knight, general, and the Overlord.
Okay.
At the beginning of each round...
So we're going to randomly choose 5 and use those same 5 throughout the game?
Throughout the game, those same 5 are used, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, so at the beginning what's going to happen is the Overlord is going to force another player to take the execution order. Now, the execution order is also two-sided, male and a female side, so let's say that the Overlord forces the general to take the execution order. Now, the general is going to have a hand of cards with which to, this is a hot potato passing game, and so the Overlord is going to, the characters are going to have a hand of cards with which to pass the execution order to other players. There's different kinds of cards, but by far the most common is the shield card, which tells you where to pass it and what to do after you pass it.
Okay.
There's also a book card, which when somebody plays the book card at the end of a round, you can only play it if you're out of shield cards, somebody's going to die. Somebody's going to become executed after this card gets played. And then there's cards like canceling a plot card as it gets passed, and also a take the execution order to yourself, which is an odd kind of card. Why would you ever want to play that? But when you take it back to yourself, let's say the advisor plays plead guilty and takes it to herself, she gets to take a gold from the bank and also gets to draw an additional plot card to replace it, to get rid of the execution. Now she draws a sidestep with which she can pass it over to the peasant. And so you keep playing until characters become eliminated because they can't pass the execution order.
Okay.
If you can't pass it, your character is eliminated and gets put to the middle of the table, and you get a little token that says you died first, or the next player dies second. Play continues until the Overlord becomes executed, at which point the round ends. Characters rank up according to players that are still alive get the highest ranks that are available. That were available. So the highest ranked player that's still alive, in this case the general, would become the new Overlord next turn. The player who was the peasant, as the only other player living here, would become the general, and so forth. Then players who had died rank up their roles. So everybody changes roles for the next round, collects income, draws new cards, and we do it over again. The goal is to either A, be the Overlord and have 30 gold after collecting income, or 2, the Overlord eliminates all of the other players during a round, in which case he wins by default.
Okay. So something that could happen in the first round, theoretically.
Theoretically, the first round, the Overlord could win.
But otherwise, you keep going, trying to build up your reserves while getting control again.
Right.
Yep. Trying to do that. All right.
And that, in a nutshell, is Kill the Overlord.
All right. Thanks very much for the overview.